All right, hey guys, welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Curtis, and today we're going to be talking about a new fragrance house discovery for me. They're not necessarily a new house. I think they started back in the early 2020s, if I'm not mistaken. But this house is from Singapore, and the house is Maison de L'asie. So if you're curious to hear my thoughts and opinions on this fragrance house, then let's go. All right guys, so today we're going to be talking about 3 fragrances from the house. First, I have a 15 ml bottle of Bois de L'asie. I have a sample of Terre, and then I have another sample of God and Moon. But before I jump in and start talking about these fragrances, I want to talk a little bit about the house. So as mentioned, this house is from Singapore, and this house is all about taking you on a cinematic journey through Asia. And yeah, they're not focused just on Singapore. They're focused on 4 countries in Asia. And so that's kind of where they're pulling inspiration for each one of these fragrances. So they basically have these 4 collections, and each one of the collections is divided into chapters. So chapter 1 focuses on Singapore. Chapter 2 focuses on Indonesia. Chapter 3 focuses on Thailand, and chapter 4 focuses on India. So this fragrance right here, Bois de L'asie, it focuses on Indonesia. So this is going to be the first fragrance that I'm talking about today. And since I do have this little 15 ml bottle, let me go over the presentation with you guys. And I must say that the presentation from this house is really good in terms of, this is just a 15 ml bottle, but if you could feel how heavy this feels in my hand, this is probably the heaviest 15 ml bottle I've ever felt. The cap, extremely weighty. This, I mean, it's crazy. It's almost heavier than the bottle. I think it's probably about the same weight, which is nuts. Just very high quality, well made. This feels like luxury, and it should be. I mean, this costs a pretty penny. There's no doubt about it. I think this 15 mil, if you're looking in like a USD, it was about $95. But yeah, definitely very well made fragrances. So first, let's go ahead and let me jump into this fragrance. So this one, as mentioned, this is Bois de L'asie, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But you can see Bois here in the name, so obviously this is going to be a woody fragrance, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's Bois or Bois. I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. I'll just say Bois. I like to kind of sound a little bit fancy. But yeah, this is definitely a woody fragrance. And, I've worn this one. This was my scent of the day yesterday. And I'll go ahead and put it here on my left hand, kind of just reacquaint myself with this fragrance. So in that way you can also see the sprayer. So there's the sprayer. It's okay. It's not pressurized. It puts out a nice little bit of juice. All right, guys, so let me talk a little bit about what I get from this fragrance. So this is a very kind of creamy, rich, very smooth, transparent kind of woody fragrance. It has an airiness about it, but it also has like a feeling of like zen. So I feel like, and the reason why I say that is because it's just very calming, and it brings a sense of, like I said, tranquility to it. Like it will bring you down. Like, I don't know, it's like, I feel like it fits, being from Indonesia very well. It's almost kind of like I'm sitting on like a tatami mat doing kind of yoga, not hot yoga or anything, but just yoga to where I'm putting my mind in a different place. It has that Zen-like character about it, which is just really appealing to me. And what I really noticed about this fragrance too was that not only is it very smooth, but this is the perfect fragrance if you're looking for a woody fragrance that has a slight bit of creamy airiness to it, that smells amazing and that will fit perfectly in Japanese culture. This is it. But there's one thing, and the reason why I say this is it, because while it does has a denseness to it, it also is quite light and airy. And this is an extrait de parfum, but the scent bubble is more of like a moderate to intimate scent bubble. I mean, I was able to catch whiffs of it, but it's not leaving some kind of like massive sillage. It's not a room filler, you know, and those types of fragrances fit perfectly here in Japan, if you didn't know. But man, what a lovely one this is. It's almost just like if you have sandalwood and you've like sanded it down, you make it extremely smooth, you throw it in the lake, and so the sandalwood's piling up, then all of a sudden it kind of just melts and smooths out. It's like a sea of creamy, transparent sandalwood. That's basically what I get here. And one thing, this kind of brought, when I smelled this and throughout my wearing experience when I was having this yesterday, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Credo by Nishane. However, Credo by Nishane kind of has like this funky oudiness to it, but it also kind of has that woody creaminess. This has that woody creaminess, but not that funky oudiness, even though I think this fragrance does have oud in it, if I'm not mistaken, but it is not funky at all. Whereas Credo has a slight bit of funkiness. To me, it's not so funky, but you can definitely pick up on it. But this fragrance doesn't have that at all. But it does contain a bit of bamboo. So I feel like that note in particular helps to add to that kind of zen-like feeling that I'm getting with this. But man, such a beautiful, beautiful wear. I mean, extremely well executed, this fragrance. Just very smooth. This has to probably be one of the smoothest woody fragrances that I've ever smelled. And another one it kind of made me think of too was Mixado by Jeroboam. Just a very kind of creamy, musky, woody fragrance. But yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Credo and Mixado. Definitely not the same. But you know, sometimes fragrances trigger other memories of other fragrances, and this is what this one's done for me. But man, stunning one, this fragrance right here. And yeah, I'm excited to wear this one a bit more. Yeah, lovely, lovely wear. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next fragrance. So the next fragrance that I'll be talking about today is Terre d'Indy. And yeah, so Terre d'Indy is coming from the India chapter of the line of fragrances. So I'll go ahead and put this one on my right hand. I don't know any of the notes of this fragrance, and I have not sampled this one, so I will be putting this one here on this will be a first impression, so here we go. Ooh, these sprays are actually pretty good on this. Okay. So this one is quite fruity, has a slight metallic kind of nature to it. What is this? This is kind of reminding me of a little bit of, God, what is that fragrance by Ex Nihilo? I cannot remember off the top of my mind, but there's a fragrance by Ex Nihilo that this is immediately reminding me of. Yeah, it has a bit of fruitiness, has a fruitiness to it too, which is bringing a subtle sweetness to this. It is quite woody as well. It's a bit aromatic. It has that light airiness to it as well, kind of like the first fragrance I talked about, but it also has a denseness to it. You can tell that this one is quite dense, and it has a freshness. So I would say this is kind of like a fresh, fruity, slightly sweet, woody fragrance. And again, it kind of has like that metallic kind of tint. So it doesn't, I wouldn't say that it necessarily smells the most natural. It has a slightly synthetic tone to it. Not off-putting, it's pleasant, but this type of fragrance here isn't necessarily like a fragrance profile that I'm personally drawn to. But with that said, I can kind of see how this could be a very easy wear. And I feel like this fragrance profile would kind of fall under more of like a mass appealing profile. But very well done. This also is quite smooth. This is a very smooth composition. It's just that the combination of notes here, I'm not the biggest fan of. This is kind of like that kind of fruity, slightly floral, a bit sweet, but not cloyingly sweet. Just that underlying fruity sweetness. Yeah, just not necessarily my cup of tea. But definitely good. I mean, if you're into this typical this type of scent profile, you might really enjoy a fragrance like this. But just not for me personally. And let's go ahead and jump into the last fragrance, which is God and Moon. Don't know really anything about this fragrance, but I did smell this one on strip. So I kind of have an idea. And I do see inside here, they have information about this fragrance. I'm not going to look at it right now, just so I can I don't want to be influenced in my thoughts about this fragrance. So I'll go ahead and put this one here on my left arm, right here. All right. And while this is drying down, I'm gonna put this here just next to the card. Okay. Yeah, so I'm getting something a bit earthy, almost slightly green to this. There is something like slightly sweet, maybe some coffee in here, or even some oud. There's something a bit dark about this composition, and maybe that's why the moon is referenced here, because the moon comes out at night. So maybe that's why there's this kind of darkness that's coming with this fragrance. But at the same time, there is something kind of like bright about this. So I feel like it's the contrast. So maybe it's like God in heaven being bright, the moon comes out at night, that's representing the darkness. And there's like a floral undertone to this. I feel like this one is probably the most feminine out of the group. I feel like this one is pushing, all of these are unisex, but I feel this one, at least now, the way that this is coming off my skin, I don't know, this is tough. It's changing a little bit now. But it's dark, a bit of, it has a woody kind of sweet undertone to it with a bit of florals. And I feel like there's coffee or maybe even oud in here, which is bringing that darkness. Is it full bottle worthy for me? No, I'm not necessarily drawn to this scent profile, at least not at the moment. I would say all of these fragrances are unisex for sure, but I would say that this one, Bois de Indonésie, pushes, it's unisex, maybe leaning slightly masculine, in my opinion, and it's definitely my favorite of all of these. I mean, hence why I ended up purchasing this 15 mil from the brand. And so, yeah, I think that's one, I want to touch on this too. I mean, and I've mentioned this quite a few times on my channel. For me, anytime the smaller option in terms of bottle size is available, I'm going to go with that option. You know, when you acquire and you have quite a large collection, do you really need a 100 ml bottle of a fragrance? I mean, you know, especially if you're looking at your entire collection. Okay, let's say you have 100 bottles. Okay, I might wear this fragrance like maybe 3 or 4 times a year. Okay, so for me to go through a 15 ml of something is gonna take a couple years. Realistically, it will. Unless I go on this kind of trip of like wearing this one like every day. And I have done that before. Lavon 31 by Le Labo. That's one fragrance that I kind of went on this trip of like wearing it like every day just because I love the smell of it. And I can see myself doing that with this fragrance. This is a really addicting smell for me. And again, I just like the Zen kind of peacefulness that this brings. It's very tranquil and relaxing, and yeah, it's a lovely one. And again, it kind of has that more elegant, intimate performance, and I'm more drawn to fragrances like that. It just fits my personality and mood and kind of where I'm at in my life right now. Yeah, it just fits it to a T. So yeah, I love that about this fragrance. But yeah, anytime I can go with the smaller bottle size, I do. Number one, it will take me forever to go through this little 15 ml. Number two, I'm limited on space. So yeah, for me, smaller bottle sizes always do what, you know, are the better option for me personally. But at the same time, I do also understand that some people like to display their fragrances, and having maybe like the same bottle size, same bottle design, just kind of works better for them. And, you know, to each his own. We all have kind of what works best for us. But for me, the smaller bottle size is the best option always. Let me go ahead and go back and re-smell these fragrances. So, yeah, the first one, Bois d'Indonésie. I have trouble pronouncing these. Yeah, again, man, this one is such a stunner. That creamy woodiness, almost transparent kind of creamy woodiness. Beautiful. It hasn't necessarily changed too much from when it started. But this does kind of change as you dry down. Those top notes definitely fade. I think there's a slight, I think there's even lotus in this one. So you have like bamboo, lotus, and I think there's a bit of pear too in the top of this. And after about the first hour, that kind of fades. And I wish this part of the fragrance stayed for the life of it. This is one of those fragrances that I wish did not change. I wish it stayed this way from opening to closing, just because I love the opening of this fragrance so much. Now, I do also love the dry down of it, but the opening is so stunning. This is a lovely one. Let's go ahead and go to Terre d'Indy. Terre d'Indy is here. Yeah, again, it hasn't really changed much except for a bit more of that kind of fruity-like character has started to push forward. And for me, it's just a bit too fruity, kind of. This one definitely is unisex, pushing a bit feminine for me. I'm not really drawn to fruity fragrances so much. Yeah, so this isn't a fragrance for me. I would not purchase a bottle of this, but again, this one reminds me a little bit of a fragrance from Ex Nihilo, and I just cannot put my name on what it is. But before I post this video, I'll mention it maybe down in the comment section about what this is reminding me of. And yeah, the last one, God and Moon. Let's smell this. Yeah, so there's something almost kind of bitter green about this fragrance, but not green like in the sense of like you might think of like Synthetic Jungle by Frederick Malle, but it's more of like a transparent greenness. And I know I'm using the word transparent like a lot. I used it in to describe the first fragrance, but that's the vibe that I get. It's almost like a clean, transparent greenness without that kind of earthy kind of grassiness that you normally get from green fragrances. I don't know if you even understand how I'm trying to explain this, but and there is kind of like that darkness to this as well. So you can definitely pick up on a slight, subtle, sweet, woody, kind of like oudiness to this, but it is very subtle in the background. But for me, this one too, not necessarily my cup of tea, not really a fragrance profile that I'm really drawn to. Doesn't smell bad. All of these fragrances smell really good, actually. But yeah, this is the clear winner out of these. Clear winner. Like this one, for me personally, like if I had more space, I would buy a bigger bottle, just because this one smells good. And I just like the way that it makes me feel. Again, that kind of peaceful tranquility, like, man, love this one. This is a stunner. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. And let me know down in the comment section, have you tried anything from the house of Maison de L'asie? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Well, I hope you guys are staying healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next video.